because then I feel like I can still get the loft.
For sure.
And real active release. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Kerrick Gray here today at the Els Club in Dubai, standing next to my good friend Mac Boucher. How you doing, Mac? Good to see you, man.
Well, yeah.
So today we're going to be covering off a whole bunch of different shot shaping techniques. We're going to be hitting some trick shots, and Mac himself is going to be showing me exactly how to play some of the shots that he's become renowned for all over the interwebs. I'm excited and pumped to get into it, see if I can help improve my shot shaping as well. There's going to be a lot of hidden information within these videos that you can use to implement into your game and make not only your practice a little bit more engaging, upgrade your performance and help lower your scores. If you want to see more of Mac, head over to Mac Boucher Golf on Instagram. He's a Canadian tour professional and also a trick shot artist. So stay tuned, all these videos coming towards you. Lots of value, lots of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I pick target where I want the ball to start. That's like a huge thing for me. And I think I'm always looking at where I want this thing to start, because if I can commit to that, I can normally know where it's going to end up, just having good face control.
Okay.
So
question for you, are you doing that off feel as well?
It's a feel thing for me. So, I mean, the only thing that's not a feel in this is just a consistent setup. So I start kind of feet, shoulders, hips, all in line with my start line.
Yeah.
And then athletically, I just let it go from there. So if I feel like I close myself off, so for me, I'm going to start, I'd say that red flag's my target, checkers the end target. So that's my start line. That's where I want my body to feel like I'm set up to.
Okay.
Really going to feel like that club is behind me on the downswing, and I'm just going to hood the face. It's hard with how much I'm aiming left to have this thing overhook. That's like my feel, that I don't want to overhook it. I want to kind of underhook it, if anything.
So if we're going to try and finish at the checkered, you're aiming at the red flag over there?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's see it. On song. On song.
Yeah.
So that's 7-iron?
That's 7, yeah.
Yeah, so there's, just based on kind of, let's call it the science versus art of shot shaping. Like in theory wise, especially with, let's just keep it simple, like the club face, definitely the king of start line will drive at 85% and starts to make its way incrementally more on par with path the more loft you get. So we've got a 7-iron here, but let's just say 70% of your start line is going to be influenced by face direction.
Yeah.
Now, what you said is you look at the finished target. So let's say we're going at the checkered.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to hit it over this
Mosque.
building,
yeah,
over the mosque over there.
So don't hit it in there.
Yeah, hit the security guard.
I've hit it in there before.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's standing there waiting for it, isn't he? So I suppose this is the thing, right? You get into a level of golf after you've been playing for so long, like yourself and me, same age, been playing pro golf at the same time, is you build a feel and awareness. Right. Now, for beginners starting this who don't know how to curve the golf ball at all, they need to be a little bit more rigid with their process of going, okay, my face starts there, I need to shift my path. The easiest way to do that is with my body.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll try and do mine first off feel.
Sure.
Let's just see if I still have that after all these years. So I'm going to go to the checkered.
Yep.
And a lot of this is visualization, creativity, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, it's a ton of visualization for me. Like I kind of see that thing going off on that line and where it's going to land on the green. I'm big on picking targets on the green where I want to land it based on slopes. So there's a lot of calculated stuff that goes into it, but the actual swing itself is kind of just tons of reps of me doing it, where it now feels like I can kind of do it in my sleep for the most part.
Unconscious confidence,
yeah,
love
exactly.
it, love it. So when I actually see this, I visualize the shot tracer coming back from the checkered. Is that what you do? Or you see it coming off the face?
I definitely, so when I set up, I would set up at the flag, but I'm looking end target, and then, exactly, seeing the line of where kind of it's hitting that green from and falling, yeah.
All right, so this is going to be my process. Like I'm looking at checkered, and then I almost go.
That light pole almost, not quite. but
what was the last Instagram story of yours that I watched? Okay, let's get that shot tracer. I'm going to light post.
Yeah.
Let's avoid some Jose Maria right now. Did you go ball forward or ball back?
I'd say middle. It doesn't change too much.
I feel like that's another.
Had some movement.
That's a movement.
That's movement.
That's a movement. A little flick of the wrist down the bottom, we're off.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'll be completely honest here and say that I kind of blacked out on the start line on that. And it was more so just going, I feel like my face angle is close enough over in that direction where it's extreme, matching against my path. We're going to be able to curve it the most here, right? Now, if you were looking to be a little bit more calculated, and let's say you did have to hit the slinger around a tree or something similar, what would you do in that process? So let's say there were trees all the way up until this red flag.
Okay.
And you need to, whatever club you're using, so for example with this 7-iron, when you're hitting that much of a hook, it's obviously de-lofting it so significantly.
Exactly. So, I mean, the two things that I kind of really focus on is a lot of people when they sling it, they start with their face super shut to begin with and hooded at the start. I try to feel like everything's square because of how much I know that I'm going to overhook it. If I remotely start with my club face shut, then I'm just going to start it. It's going to go right into the trees right off the start. So that's why for me, picking that target where it's shooting off from is important. My feel is honestly a lot of what the path is doing. The more I can get that path end out, the more that face is going to shut naturally on the downswing because it almost has to.
So it's so interesting, right? So not only are you reverse engineering it from the pin in regards to the shot tracer, but when you set up to it, you are thinking about from the ball back, right? So you're visualizing the club coming into impact going, okay, if my face is starting, because I was doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
My face is starting out over there near the mosque, but I was thinking about, okay, so if I get this club coming in that path, I need to get to a point that I'm almost trying to get the overtaking rate of that head coming in such a way where I can keep the loft and then get it.
Exactly. So a lot of time, again, people always ask, they're like, do you have to club up when you're hitting a slinger? It's actually I have to club down because that face is coming through so hooded. And this is the thing is people are like, well, how's it curving and still traveling so far? I'm like, I'm de-lofting that club almost 2 clubs. That's at impact, that thing is coming through so shut that I'm effectively turning the 7-iron into a 5-iron.
Big time.
So it's going to make up for the curve, and it's also going to roll out a little bit more because it's coming in hot normally. So it's definitely something that people have a hard time comprehending.
Yeah, exactly. And that's only a calculation you can really make in your head after so many reps of understanding trajectory, because I hit it quite high, right? So if I'm hitting a stock 7-iron trajectory.
Yeah, much higher.
Like super high.
Super high.
And I would say I hit my 7-iron a pretty stock distance, whatever that would be, like I don't know, 65 meters maybe for a pro. But then when you're hitting a low sniping hook, and I feel like when I do this, I want to place, it's all relative to your target line, but I need to feel like I get in my ball forward, right? Because then I feel like I can still get the loft.
For sure.
And real active release. But it's so funny, like your description of what you do, the difference between feel and real. Like it's so profound. You might feel like you're doing something completely different to me, but if we were actually to measure it, it's probably actually the same.
Very same, exactly.
All right, so I want to see your biggest slinger. Let's go over this left, back there, pretending it's trees, and you have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you got a lot more control on yours there. Man, that's good. Around the outside of the bunker.
Yeah, there you go.
Stiffed it.
There it is.
All right.
I mean, again, it's like one of those things. I think I've done so much of it that it feels more comfortable. People can't wrap their head around why I do it, but when people see how consistent I can do in landing a land zone with it, then I think people have a better understanding of why I do it.
Yeah.
Because when I hit it straight, I start getting super technical. I start freezing up, and I hit blocks or hooks, and it's too much club face control for me. When having one swing thought of just getting that path into out and letting the face kind of do its thing naturally, that's my feel. Probably isn't actually what's happening, but that's just my feeling of it. I have a way easier time controlling where the ball's going to end up.
Now, just out of interest, when you grew up playing golf, was it just a lot of playing holes, not much instruction?
Yeah, so I picked it up the game super late. I didn't start playing until I was like 18, seriously.
Yeah, wow.
And I used my athletic ability from other sports and just I played a ton of golf, didn't sit on the driving range, used to just go on the course and just tinker around and hit different shots, and I found that's how I enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
And then I started kind of noticing that I had a bit of a different skill set than a lot of people, just in the sense of like making harder shots a little easier. I struggled with easy shots. So I kind of just realized that I need to own what I do well and try to perfect it almost. So that was my feel. Yeah,
it's funny, like you see a lot of players that do grow up with a lot of instruction, and you see it in various countries and maybe they don't have access to golf courses as much as they would, but they stand on the range, they get these beautiful golf swings and they can hit pure shots and everyone loves the aesthetic of it. But then you actually put them out on the golf course and they can't score.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's
so many
important.
variables you can't control out there, right?
And I think for me, it's honestly the enjoyment. I'm a fast-paced person, so like for me, being out in a golf course for 5 hours hitting boring kind of shots, I kind of lose interest. So that's kind of how I was. So for me, it was bringing a little bit of a different aspect to the game, and it started kind of working.
You and me playing kart golf in like a tournament would be a nightmare. We'd be just like trying to get bored halfway through,
totally.
hitting big slingers.
You've been
big
there, like
cuts.
5 hour rounds in a pro golf tournament is like, it becomes painful. After 12 holes, you're just like, hey, what's next? So
yeah,
that's part of the reason that I kind of did give it up, because I found that I get so much more enjoyment just going out and having a good time on the golf course now, and
correct.
hitting some good shots, hitting some bad shots, and not really worrying about it. So
Yeah, it's all experimentation.
yeah, exactly.
All right, little challenge.
Okay.
Let's, from either side of this line, I'm going to start it out near the mosque. You're going to start it out near the red, and then we'll see if we can get them curving. Actually, we'll bring it in a little bit.
Sure.
And we'll go about halfway, see if we can get them bring in, and then we'll start to make our way out and see if we can expand it as much as we possibly can.
Sounds good.
All right, so.
You said starting at the red? Or just inside the red?
Go a little bit in.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, go halfway between. Just
Go
like
halfway in.
a little one.
all right. See, I still have to line up my club face a little bit. Otherwise, I've got no metric for where I am.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start there. And 3, 2, 1. Under and over. I feel like I bailed out on the speed there. Let's pick that up.
Yeah.
All right, so
Over,
I reckon we can go
overcooked it.
wider,
Okay.
full speed. What sort of trajectory are you looking at here?
So, I mean, it's kind of a mid trajectory, I'd say. If we're starting at the red, honestly, I think I put the ball position a little further back than you because I hit it super high as well.
Yeah.
So because I'm adding a little bit of that wrist flick at the bottom, I find that I don't have a huge time getting it up in the air.
Okay,
But I'd say like a mid trajectory.
mid trajectory. All right, so full speed on this one, biggest hook.
Okay. So I don't shank it off your shin.
Let's go.
All right.
Don't do this if you're a beginner. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, all right, can we do one?
Yeah, we can do.
Oh, shit.
I pulled trigger a little fast again. I got a little.
I hit it toe in high. All right, bit divot. Yeah, so you do hit a little bit more down on it than me. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I take divot still, which is a mystery.
3, 2, 1. Love it.
Beauty.
Awesome.